Hi everyone, just finished my first week here at Pulse Social as an intern in sports journalism. Had a really good week. I feel settled in already, which is a big thing, and I know what's expected of me. Started the week on Monday and Marlon sent me a few induction tasks, some reading, just to learn a bit about what Pulse Social does and inform me of my tasks that I'll be doing for the coming weeks. 2 podcasts, 4 articles and a news bulletin video every week. And then after that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now Friday, I've just been able to crack on and get through those tasks. Things that went well this week, I think my time management was really strong. I've finished everything already and we're halfway through Friday, which is nice. I was really happy with how my podcast turned out. I've never done a podcast before, so I think my planning for that was really good, and hopefully the end product will convey that. Some of the challenges this week, getting used to the Canva software to edit my videos. I always want my videos to come out and look professional, so put quite a bit of time into learning the software this week. Hopefully that'll get easier next week. And also I'm still experimenting with the best ways to contact people or the most effective ways to contact people and get them on the podcast. So I'll try a few more of those next week, but excited to see what next week brings. Hi everyone, just thought I'd record this weekly vlog because I've just finished my second week here at Pulse Social as a sports journalist intern. Had another great week, and I think I've developed on some of the topics that I discussed in my first vlog last week. Some of the things that I said in that vlog were that I thought that my time management was really good last week, and it was, but I've developed on that now, where I'm not just looking at managing my time within the week, but also for future weeks. So I've got things planned for next week and the week after that. I also said I was happy with my podcast preparation. I still am happy with how it was last week, but I've also developed on that, in that I feel like I'm less premeditated in the podcasts. Maybe as I get more used to doing podcasts, I've now done 4. So my questions aren't, so robotic in a way, they're a bit more natural. But this week I was also happy with my articles. I was still happy with my articles last week, but I thought I'd make them more newsworthy this week. I wrote an article on grassroots motorsports, tying in with the Silverstone Grand Prix being last weekend. And then also I wrote one on the knock-on effect of England under-21's Euros success. So I think they're better this week, maybe slightly more relevant and interesting. Things I said that I wanted to improve on last week were getting used to the Canva software to produce professional results. I think this is still an ongoing process. It probably will be throughout the internship. The Canva software itself isn't difficult to use, but I want professional outcomes, and maybe it's my own ability to edit videos to a high standard that needs to improve rather than me getting used to the Canva software, so to speak. In terms of contacting people, which I mentioned I wanted to improve on last week, I managed to sort both of the podcasts out at the start of the week, which was really nice. And also I've started to organise some for the future weeks, as I said, which is also like less work for then. But on the whole, everything's gone really well this week. I think Marlon can leave me to be slightly more autonomous, or completely autonomous if he wants. So that's nice. I think that's good for him and also good for the business. But yeah, some of the challenges this week, just as I said, just getting my videos to feel more professional and balancing looking uniform and classy with repetitive and boring. So I might experiment with a different editing style next week. But yeah, that's all really. Looking forward to seeing what next week brings, how I can develop on my skill set, and yeah, excited for it. Hi everyone, just finished my penultimate week here at Pulse Social. Can't believe I'm saying that, it's gone so fast. But yeah, I thought I'd do another one of these vlogs to give you a little update as to the things that's been going on and what I've been learning. This week I looked at the topic of women in sport, which I enjoyed, stuck with my passion in the articles of motorsport, and looked at the F1 Academy and what's been going on with the F1 Academy in terms of getting women involved in motorsport. I also then, I know that later this year it's the men's Rugby World Cup, not the women's Rugby World Cup, but I decided to look at rugby as a topic, and particularly women's participation in rugby. So I did an article on that. I also had a really good podcast this week and spoke about Nike and Sporting Equals project, particularly looking at the importance of corporations for funding sporting initiatives, which I then developed into an article after the podcast. But yeah, some interesting things happened this week. First of all, last week I said my main objective for this week was to improve my editing style. I actually had a meeting or a phone call with Marlon earlier this week to discuss the work that I've been producing, and he said that he was pretty happy with the quality of my videos, so I decided that there's no point me changing them if Marlon's happy with them. And then also I'd organised 2 podcasts for this week about a week and a half ago, and unfortunately the second one for this week cancelled. So stuff like that can happen, but rather than miss out on the scheduled work, I decided to move it back and find a new guest. So next week I'll be doing 3 podcasts instead of 2, and I'll also do an extra blog next week. So slightly more work, but making up for the cancellation this week that was out of my hands. But yeah, final week next week, should be fairly busy, but still enjoying myself and still learning a lot. Hello everyone, just thought I'd record this final blog entry because I've just finished my final week here at Pulse Social. First of all, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Marlon and the team at Pulse Social. Obviously my internship was only 4 weeks, but the way that the internship is set up and organised and communicated, as I said in one of the earlier blog entries, means that I could really hit the ground running, and I've really got the most out of this experience. I also want to thank them for the opportunity to work as a sports journalist. I have a passion for sports, but I'm studying a business management with marketing degree, so maybe not completely applicable to a sports journalist role. But Pulse Social gave me the opportunity to explore this career pathway, and I'm really grateful for that. And hopefully some of the work that I've produced can help contribute to the great work that they do in breaking down social barriers and increasing sports participation. On to this week. For my final week, I recorded a extra podcast, so 3 podcasts and 5 articles with a focus on disability in sport. I had 3 great podcast guests on in the form of Sarah Clark, who is organiser for the Transplant Games, Joe Hawkins, who works for a partner charity, Access Sport, as a community coordinator, and Tom Miles, who works as community coach for Bromley Football Club. I felt like we were able to discuss a wide range of topics surrounding disability in sport, amongst other things. And that was reflected in the fact that I could then take these conversations further into 3 of the articles that I wrote. Again, before this internship, podcasts were something that I'd never considered that I would need to do, or I've never done in the past. But towards the end, particularly of this week and throughout the internship as a whole, I feel like I've really grown into the role, and I actively started looking forward to recording podcasts and meeting people who are so passionate about what they do. It was also nice to continue the theme of motorsport in my articles. I wrote a article this week on disability accessibility in UK motorsport, and also a bit about sports in schools and being more inclusive for disabled individuals. In terms of my biggest takeaway from this placement, personally I think it's the fact that I can readily adapt to different roles, and I've proven that to myself. As I said, although I'm studying business management with marketing, I now know that I'm more than comfortable carrying out a role that potentially on paper I don't look qualified for, so in this case journalism. Also from an education point of view, I think it's opened my eyes a bit more to some of the barriers in society when getting involved in sports, and also away from that. In terms of my biggest highlight from this placement, I don't like to zoom into one particular thing, because I think it's a lot of small aspects that played into a larger whole to make my experience so rewarding. But if I had to pick one particular moment, it would probably be the end of my first podcast. I just think I felt like it went quite well for a first podcast, and it kind of proved to myself that I was capable of adapting to the role. And then in terms of my plans after this placement, I plan on studying hard in my final year of marketing and management, and then reviewing all the experiences that I've had so far, including the one at Pulse, and seeing where my career takes me beyond that. Applying maybe to some graduate roles, could be in sport, could be elsewhere. But yeah, really grateful for the opportunity, and once again, a big thank you to Marlon and the whole team at Pulse Social.